Going to be some strong coffee this morning. I'm drinking the leftovers in the pot. Good morning, everyone. So today is a coffee day. I've got my Matilda cup and some strong coffee, and it's time to get out in the garden. Now we're having a really hot day. It is going to be 33 Celsius. We have humidity again. We had rain showers the other night. We probably had 4 or 5 showers come through in the night, just enough to make it humid and ugly. So not impressed. So today we're gonna get up and get at these plants right away. But first I gotta get some coffee into me because it's hot out. And I'm starting with watering all my pots and adding a bit of fertilizer, because if I don't, they're not gonna make it through this heat. So, and tomorrow's supposed to be hot too, and we're expecting showers later, so we're starting really early. So good morning, everyone, and all the new subscribers, welcome to the channel, and let's get at it. But first, we need our Java. Geez, I look a lot better in the natural light than I did outside in the kitchen. Boy, oh boy. Anyhow, I haven't got a lot of makeup on because I'm gonna be sweating. But anyhow, today is a day of miscellaneous jobs. So we're gonna start with watering. I have some delphinium need to be cut back and a few things that need to be done as part of general maintenance today. So I'll take you along with me on that. I do have some planting I need to do, but I just don't see that happening yet. I gotta get these other chores done before it gets hot. So let's start fertilizing the pots and get them done first so that they can survive in this heat. Usually if I put an entire container of water on my pot, it does help to get them through a couple days. So with regard to the driveway pots, if I put 1 full jug of water on, it will do me 2 days. So that's the goal here, because today is hot and tomorrow is hot. For the hanging baskets, it's a daily watering, and I don't have a drip line set up, so I carry water, which is fine, but they got to be done. And if I skip a day, they're gonna let me know, because they will be wilting bad. And sometimes you lose plants too. So I gotta keep up on it. So let's get at it. So I start with my driveway pots first, because they take the biggest beating, because they're out in the open and they get a lot of northwest wind. So the first ones I'm gonna water up. And they're looking good, but I am betting, I'm just gonna do the finger test. They're starting to get dry. They're still semi-moist, but they're getting dry. So by watering them now, that will keep them going for a couple days. And here you can see the purple millet that I grew from seed is starting to get a flower on. So this will be the first time I get to see that. Would I grow this again? Yes. Yes, I would, because it's gorgeous. It does not like getting its leaves wet though. When the leaves get wet, this is what happens. You can see here. But overall, the foliage is gorgeous, and it's just a nice contrast with the flowers. And you see the geraniums, which are not supposed to be red, are red. But hey, it's a nice contrast in the containers. I get a lot of compliments from the mix of colors. So we're gonna go with it. So let's water this in. I have my water jugs here. I carry 2 with me, and I do 2 pots at a time, so it results in multiple trips, but they get a good soaking. And I put a half scoop of fertilizer in the container. I'm fertilizing today because I haven't done it for a while, and I think they need it. So we're going to give them that, and they're going to get the entire jug of water. And this is my leaky jug. So I just come in here, try to get it down in the container, and then just kind of move around in the pot. Make sure I get all sides, because I notice sometimes with the foliage and everything, you don't get all sides. So just move around and try to distribute it. And it's okay if you get it on the foliage for the flowers, because they will absorb the fertilizer through the foliage. So that's all good. So they will thank me by not dying. The very basics of life, right? But with this heat and the humidity, plants probably love the humidity. I do not. I'm a dry heat girl. I'm on the prairies, and I love the dry heat. Vegas is a perfect place for me, Nevada, because it's dry heat. I go there and they can have hot temperatures and I'm quite fine. So I'm just going to do another one to show you how I do it. This one is so full. The Coleus just took over the show here, and it's really quite nice actually, because it's got the Coleus with the pink in it. And as they age, it gets darker, but when they're first blooming, it's really a nice fuchsia. You know, I had a friend who I gave plants to, and he texted me yesterday and he said that the plants I gave him were the best he's ever had. And those are the ones that grew from seeds. And I said to him, well, maybe because I'm growing them from seeds and it's in our climate and I harden them off in our climate, that they're actually better than what you buy in the store because they're already climatized. I don't know. But he's thrilled. I gave him a lot of vegetable plants. And I give him some Coleus and a few things like that, and some geraniums. So that was really good to hear. I love giving people plants, and then I hear those kind of comments because it makes me feel good. And it feels like all my efforts are worthwhile, not just for my garden and for you guys, but for my friends and family too. I think it increases their success rate and gets them more involved in gardening. And if they have success, then they want to garden more, and that's good for the environment. So I like doing that. See what I mean about every plant is different? Look at this one. Because the Coleus is a different color, it's really dark. It makes up for the millet not growing in this pot. So it takes over and gives me that dark foliage that I need. And I really like it. It's got some curl geranium buried in there. But look at this red geranium. These Maverick red geraniums are amazing, you guys. So if you haven't tried growing them from seed, go for it because they put on a show and they are tough. So half a watering can with a scoop of fertilizer for these every day. And then I deadhead. That's how I keep them looking good, and that's why they're starting to fill in so nicely. If I miss a day, they're gonna tell me because these will weep fast because the containers aren't as deep as, say, the driveway containers. So you can see I'm just picking them off. I just carefully spin the plant around and pick them off. If there's any spent geraniums, twist them off. And you know, with the geraniums, you gotta go right down to the stem here to the bottom where it joins the plant to pick the heads off, but they aren't quite ready yet. So let's do the other one. So daily, half a can of water. And because these are cocoa weeds, I think they should be fertilized at least 2 or 3 times a week because they are pulling all the nutrients out of the soil with the containers not being so deep. If you have any water left in your jug, with a bit of fertilizer in it, give it to your zinnias because it will help speed up the blooms. So this patch here, you can give it to them. And just a tip for you guys, I did not pinch these back this year. When I plant them, I don't thin them because I like them to be a big mound of color. So that is my practice. I know some people will thin their zinnias so they're not as tightly together, but I like a bunch of them and I haven't found any issues with doing it that way. All right, so now I'm gonna go through because I watered this right away and just double check, see if I need to deadhead. And I do. You can see here, I need to come in here. There's a geranium leaf here. Just reach down into the pot, take the leaf out, and just gonna spin it around and look for more blooms. Last night, these were weeping so bad, I could not deadhead them. I couldn't pinch them with my fingers because they were just rubbery is a word I'll use, but today I can because they rehydrated overnight. So, it keeps spinning on me. One-handed job, you can see. So just get them out of there. And these are yellow wave too, you guys. I think I told you in the video when I did it, but I'm going to say it again for anybody new that hasn't watched that video. There's no proven winners in these arrangements at all. So you can see there, that should be picked. And for the most part, I get as many as I can. I think that's good enough. All right, time to do the ones on the front stem. So I want to show you my Orbit wands. These were one heck of a buy off the Home Depot site for around $12 Canadian. They have brass fittings on them. They have the on-off valve right here. And I mean, this isn't an endorsement or anything. This is just me as a gardener saying what's good. And I am so happy with them. I ordered 2. You can see here. More brass in here. And steel on the end. These are made to last. I highly recommend them. And for that price, they're steel. I looked on Amazon. And I looked all over and they were double, triple the price. So if you need a wand, go to the Home Depot site and see if you can find them. They're orbits. So normally what I do with my pots on the doorstep is I just reach the wand in and water them because it's so close. But when I need to fertilize, I mix up a jug. I have a jug for each one of them and soak it. And in this humidity, they need it. And look at how the bees are enjoying the coleus. So I don't cut my coleus back specifically for the pollinators, but they love it. And I'm just giving you a close-up look at how these pots are doing. You can see here what's the dominant plants and what is a little slower. The coleus really hold their own. And I love that owl. You guys may not like that touch of whimsy. You can let me know in the comments. But I'm loving my colors of my owl just because it looks good with the house. But look at this green coleus. It is giant. And the darker color is holding its own in both arrangements too. And this one's really flowering. You can see it here. And then we have the orange mavericks, which I did want. I have coral in here, another orange. It was supposed to be all orange in here. Here's a geranium head that should be broke off. So I'm just going to reach, I don't know if you can see this. I'm reaching all the way down here and I'm just going to give it, I'm going to snap it with my finger. So you can see here how far down I go to snap it. And I just throw it back into the lawn or in the flower beds because it's natural. So I go through here and I'm going to give them a dose of good fertilizer because they need it. Once again, half a scoop, 1 pot per container. These are really big containers. I got them at Lowe's. And I'm going to fill this watering can. I just use it for decoration with mulch because birds have been falling in it. And if there's any water in it from a rainstorm, I've had them drown. And I check this every single day, multiple times a day sometimes, to make sure, because I lost a couple baby wrens. And actually, I heard a kerfluffle one morning and a lot of chirping. It was really close to the front door. And I always have the front door open in the morning I just enjoy my mornings so much. I'm up so early, you guys. And I just love the sound of nature and the peace and quiet. I heard a lot of chirping. I didn't come out to see what was going on. And here the babies had fallen in the watering can. There was an inch of water and they drowned. So I felt so damn bad. I should have got off my butt and went out there and checked. And I might have been able to save them. But that's nature for you. I don't know how they ended up there. Usually don't see wrens. I'm assuming they got on a leaf of a plant and slipped off. Because that's the only way I can figure they got into that can. So I'm going to fill it with mulch. Right now it's totally dry because the plants are protecting it and nothing's going in there. But still, I just felt really bad. So I will come through here and I will deadhead these ones too that are almost done. Like this, once they start weeping like that, they need to be done. And this wasn't a deadheading video, but this is my either evening or morning routine. And like I said, once to twice a week to fertilize these a good 3 times. Oh, look at this. These guys are not scared of me at all. 3 times on the hanging baskets. 3 times a week is what I'd recommend. So we're just going to go ahead and fill this. And this, you got to just move that head of the watering can in there. So this wasn't the greatest year for Delphinium with the storms that came through, but you can see they're finished. Now, if you want to collect seeds, you can cut the heads off of the Delphinium, lay them out in the sun, let them dry till they become brown and crisp, and then they'll start popping open and you can collect the seeds and spread them on top of the soil to start new ones. So if you have a favorite color, this is the time to do it. You can see here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through here and I'm going to hack these back right to the ground and just leave the new plants. I know the bees are in here still and that, but they're very unsightly and that just needs to occur. When you do this, you can come through, add some manure if you want, or give these new plants a really good fertilizer to try to get another set of blooms out of them, which is something I will do later once I get them hacked back. And I'm going to try to propagate another cycle of growth. And I'm gonna cut the new ones too. So we're just gonna go hard and clean it all up, rake it out carefully because we have new shoots in here, and that is another job done. So this is all daily maintenance that I'm doing today in this video to show you how I do things and how I clean stuff up, because it's just a job that needs to be done, and I thought I'd share that with you. It's sad to take some of them out. They're still in flower. You can see here some are in flower, but it's for the best of the plants. All right, so let's get at it. And we're cutting them right to ground level, so I'll show you the after. So you can see this is all cleaned up. You can see there's some plants that already started and they're looking pretty good and they're tall. If you come in here with a hedge trimmer, you will cut potentially some of your delphinium off. So I like to do it by hand just because of that. Now that we have everything out, rather than show you the deck, I'm going to show you the bed. Gee whiz. You can see here all the petals in here. I came through and I gave it a sweep. And I need to come through here and clean up the edge because there's some weeds growing in here that you don't see when the delphiniums and all the leaves are hanging over. So I cut them as low as I possibly could, you guys. You can see here, some even further down. So now is the time you can come through with some manure, compost, and fertilizer, and fertilize what you have left here. If you have any sort of powdery mildew, because they were planted thickly in here, you can come through and you could shear that back. So like here. Or you could just pick them off and clean that up. Not a big deal. They will get powdery mildew, you guys, if they get overhead water. So even rain will do it to them. I don't consider that a big deal because that's just normal with rain and stuff that's going to happen. But definitely it was a harsh pruning, but it needed to be done. And I do this every single year when they get to this point and they start looking straggly. That is your chance to also collect seed for next year of the colors that you really like and spread it wherever you want to put it, maybe even back into the bed. If you don't want to do that, but you want to reseed, you could let them completely dry and drop their seeds and then clean them up. And that will also give you more delphinium. But that is the way to do it. That's how I clean up. I did leave my marker here for the pink one that I planted. And I did find my pink seeds, you guys. So I sent a friend to try to get more. That's just the way it goes. I put them over in the other bed. Anyhow, that's this. So let's go on and do another project. The final project of the day, which is pruning back my dahlia, or basically deadheading it. So you can see here we have some blooms that are finished. And one way to tell is looking underneath them. And you can see here that bloom is finished. So we want the energy not to go to that bloom, but we want it to go to the plant. So I'm just going to go in here, take this stem all the way down to where it joins right here. See if I can help you see that, and cut it right at the bottom. Anything that's looking good, I'll leave alone. But if you lift up the underleaves of your dahlia, you can see the ones that are spent. So you can decide, leave them for another day or take them. That one down there I'm going to take because it's also mixed in the leaves and it just makes sense to get it out of there so everything else can flourish. So that's what you call a dahlia that's end of life. You can see by the underside it's going to stop dropping petals, and if you have them on the deck in a pot, you may not want all the petals coming down because it does attract bugs, so you keep them clean. And I'm just going to see if I can take another one here, this one here. And I am being brutal, but it's okay. See, now that looks better. So now you can pinch these back if you want to for more blooms because they are shorter, like this. Just go in and snap that stem off like that, and then all of a sudden it'll expand out. One thing I did learn though with my dahlias, and I did learn this before, but I tried it again because it was on the deck, is not to underplant. Underplanting just doesn't work. These guys are just hogs for space, and I would never do it again. But they're looking good. And so far, this is the only one that's been fully open early. And I'm just going to take that spider web off with these dahlia heads to keep it clean. This one over here, and you see my deck is a mess. We're going to do that when we get to it here. It's just starting to open, and sadly it's the same darn color. I was looking for some variety, but there may be some variety in the ones at the back of the yard. So nothing to do for this one other than to pinch any side buds off to put more energy to the plant, which I've been gradually doing. Nice and healthy here. I water from the bottom, try not to get the leaves wet. The rain will wet the leaves, and just keep pinching them back and helping the plant to become bigger and expand. That's it for this video. My mascara is already starting to run. Doesn't seem to matter what I use, it all runs. These are the two that I cut back. They still look so pretty from the front, so I just had to show you. But it was their time to go so the plant can flourish. So thank you for watching this video. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Let me know in the comments any of these things that you do, and just say hi if you're a new subscriber. Love to hear from you. Thank you, and take care, everybody. Bye.